You're now listening to No Gimmicks.
No Gimmicks podcast, and we bring it to you. Every time we turn live, and you know it's the truth. Every after show, moving down, this the time we move around. No Gimmicks podcast is going down. Every night, every time in the ring, this is the time for No Gimmicks, know we doing our thing. What's your state of mind, state of mind? Moving down a statement when we take the line. This is exactly wrestling the state design. When you see Stone Cold like me, with the stunner in the world, exactly, man, what we bring. Every night we move like Brock Lesnar, the F5, No Gimmicks. We take you to your limit, what's the feeling? When we live in the air, you know we on, it's the time. Guarantee we move, you know how we respond. The state design, when we feel it. Moving down, what's the healing? No Gimmicks is the feeling.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the No Gimmicks podcast here on the DFPN. And before we start tonight's show, I want to send a shout out and give our condolences to the family and friends of Maya World's brother, who you know has passed away tragically. Maya World was on Dynamite this past Wednesday, picked up a very big win over Sky Blue, but she's also one of those. She's our KC Navarro, Rob, for people who know the journey of KC Navarro. Maya World is someone who we've been with from the beginning of her career to now. So, want to make sure that we send our condolences and give our respects to the family and friends of her brother. Very much sending much all the love to you. Doing what you did on Dynamite, I really respect it. And just even showing up was monumental. So make sure we give our love out and send positivity your way. But we are here because we asked Rob Williams to come on. For those who live under a rock, No Gimmicks BCP Plus has had a very, very solid relationship for a few years now. So anytime one of us does something, you know, we want to make sure that we're putting it in the best spotlight. Rob had his hands in some very big stuff. Was kind of covering the Battle for the Brave event, Deonna Purrazzo, Steve Maclin, Tunnel to Towers charity event. Caused very, very big waves in the industry. So being that he's a friend of the show, he's a friend of the podcast, he's my friend, I called in a favor for this one because I felt like we had to talk about it. It was such a big event that we had to talk about it. So joining us tonight is the BCP Plus front man, the boss man himself, Mr. Rob Williams. We are not worthy this time. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Welcome to the show.
What's up? Hey, Kelvin. How are you? It's cool to be interviewed by one of my favorite interviewers. So, thank you guys for having me on, man. I did not have to clear any sort of schedule or anything special for this, man. I like I always say, Kelvin, I love talking to you. JJ, I love seeing you in our chats, and I love seeing your content too. It's just cool hanging with you guys. I feel like I learn from you guys. I'm just watching that intro, man. Like, man, I need to work on my intro. And I think I said this last time. Was that Montesi on the intro?
That is Montesi.
So good. He's so good. But thank you guys for having me. Excited to talk about a really awesome show here in the Northeast, man.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for coming on. Shout out to Kim, who's always in the chat. Yes, this is kind of a bonus episode for us, but we wanted to make sure we get it out and talk to the people. But let's talk about Battle of the Brave, man. This was something when it was announced. Deonna Purrazzo went out on Busted Open and announced it, and it was something once it was announced that I immediately took interest in. It is a show benefiting veterans. As you know, Steve Maclin is a veteran. But how did you become involved in this event? I know you interviewed Deonna, you interviewed Steve before, but how did you become like really hands-on with this one?
So it's funny. I have so much to say about, and Kelvin, you know me by now. If I ramble on, just reel me in as you always do. Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time. I met Deonna and Steve in 2021 at Warriors of Wrestling. They had done an mixed tag match, if I remember correctly. And it's funny, earlier that year, I had written down, I was really getting the video, I guess, aspect of the podcast going, and starting to get some momentum with interviewing, as we know, right? Like we say, Kelvin, the names, right? Yeah. But Deonna, I've written a list of people I wanted to interview, like David LaGreca, manifesting, right, Kelvin? We did it recently with Vince Russo, which is a crazy story. Manifesting. It's really important. And I remember I wrote Deonna Purrazzo on there. She had that breakout year. I believe this was 2021, if I'm remembering correctly. At that time, she was the number 3 ranked women's wrestler in the world in the PWI. I could have made a case for her being number 1 at that point. Mm-hmm. So we did the show, and then Nunes and I were set up, and Steve walks over. I didn't know Steve as well or as much, but he's just walking by. He has a beer. He's just chilling, and he comes by, and he's like, "Oh, are you guys doing like interviews and a podcast?" We're like, "Yeah, we would love you to come over." So we sat down with Steve. We're laughing. We hit it off. We're talking about Wolverine. Like, he's one of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One of us.
Yeah.
We talked about, the thing with the Forgotten Sons and NXT and, what he's doing now. And then we're like, hey, would it be cool if, we interviewed Deonna too? He's like, hey, D, come on over. Sat down, had a great time talking to Deonna. It was just one of those interviews, like, how it is, Kelvin. Sometimes they're hit or miss. Sometimes you get robot answers. Sometimes, and I don't blame anyone who doesn't want to be interviewed. Sometimes, like I always say with Tony Khan, sometimes it's like a firing squad. I almost feel bad. You really just gotta roll with the criticism. But it was just like, and this, Kelvin, I love your interview with the Hardys, man. I always try to replicate that, man. I always watch that one because it was so chill. By the end of the interview, you have them literally rapping. What's better than that, So we really hit it off. We were just having a conversation. And ever since then, anytime I would see them at like Baltimore Celeb Fest or any cons or anything, whether it was Steve, Deonna, sometimes Tosh was there too, always did the interviews. I remember one time I gave Steve like a little Wolverine Funko Pop because we were always talking about Wolverine. We would always talk about the Giants. We were just talking about Odell signing to the Giants. I wanted to know his thoughts. But the thing about them is they always had, and I say this carefully because, look, in wrestling, especially indie wrestling, it's a selfish business. There's a lot of ego. There's a lot of like, it's my lead singer joke, right? Me. There's a lot of, not even next man up. It's everyone wants that one spot, and the ways to get there are tricky. But something about Steve and Deonna, and Steve has served this country, as you guys know, they're always trying to use their platform for something bigger than themselves, bigger than pro wrestling. I would always hear in their interviews, they would talk about like dogs and shelters and rescues, which is always a big cause for me. I feel a very strong calling to that myself. And that's something I'd like to get involved with later this year somehow.
Manifesting.
Yeah, exactly. Steve talking about PTSD, how people deal with stuff, coming home, after serving, things like that. Their podcast that they do now, Boots to Boots. And Deonna now doing stuff for education. I'm a teacher here in New Jersey. She's trying to do stuff with Jefferson Townships over there. So they're really using their platform, and I've always admired them for that. It is rare in wrestling, unfortunately. There's obviously exceptions, but it's a very selfish business. These are two very unselfish people. They see the bigger picture. They faced a lot of speed bumps, for lack of a better word, trying to make this show happen. I feel there were a lot of people that could have made this a lot easier for them. You guys know indie wrestling. And, I think at the end of the day, you're doing this for the people who are the first responders who would show up. If I had an emergency here, who would I call? First responder, Matt on our show, first responder. Military families, people who lost their family in 9/11. This provides housing and helps with mortgages and things like that. So they saw the bigger picture and they said, hey, you know what? We're going to run a show. We're going to try to be promoters and run a wrestling show. I think it was a learning experience. There were some speed bumps, but they overpowered every single one. It's a night I won't forget for a long time. It was magical. Place was packed. They raised a ton of money for the cause. My hat's off to Steve and Deonna, Tunnel to the Towers, Josh Lenton, Joanna, everyone involved with the cause. It was really something special, and the wrestling was awesome too.
Yeah, the wrestling was amazing, and the Tunnel for Towers, the charity itself is really awesome. So if you guys are listening, please go follow that. and try to give to the cause, because it really is. They really put me on to this one, just following this event, but it really is a great cause. So I would encourage everybody, if you're listening, please go follow that and give them some love, because they deserve that one. But yeah, that event, watching it, because I saw you say like there was speed bumps, but watching it, it looks like it went off flawlessly. It really does. But judging from here and this, from what we've seen here, what me and JJ have seen here, it's not easy, bro. It's not easy at all. Yeah. It's not easy at all. Matter of fact, it seems like there's times I've seen it to where like I don't know how it went this great, because bro, let me tell you, before the show it was chaos, but once the lights cut on, for some reason it goes off without a hitch. That's insane. Yeah, so I'm glad they got that experience.
It's like I used to play in bands, and like sometimes if we had like not so great practice right before the show, I'm like, you know what, the show's gonna be awesome. You know what I mean? Like sometimes that happens. And the speed bumps were, you know, I don't want to shine a light on any of like the indie drama. Like you guys know the deal. Like people are territorial and stuff. At the end of the day, for me, if it's for charity, roll out the red carpet, do anything you can. You know, these are the people that are going to show up at your house if you have an emergency. These are the people that have served our country. That's just me. I see the bigger picture. But again, you know, that's pro wrestling. But stuff with, unfortunately, but stuff with the temperature in the building, there was no AC in the actual big room. Obviously, you guys can see that on YouTube. It was hot, but it was just, the show was so enjoyable. It didn't matter. And I'm wearing a suit, you know me, you know who dresses me. And it's really hot. So they open the doors, they get the industrial fans, and every single person, like 1,000 people, got a water. They handed out waters to every single person in the venue. And then the lighting, it just wasn't as bright as they had wanted it to be, the way they set it up. Tunnel to towers, just brought in one of those big, like kind of searchlight kind of things, put it in the corner. So it was just so little problems, but they solved them as the show went on. You guys watching at home, even the audience wouldn't even really know a lot of these things. But I talked to Steve about it publicly, you know, smoke and mirrors, right? But I was proud of them. Like they powered through. They kept everything so positive. And just the show flow was great. The crowd was into it the whole time. I had an exciting moment with the Hardys, which kind of like reinvigorated my love for wrestling, because you guys know how it is. Like you're so into the content creating and you know how the what gets made. It's just very like and all the politics and the indie drama and all that stuff. It really kind of takes you out of it. And seeing the Hardys wrestle in that main event, it really, I was like, oh yeah, I am a fan. Like I do love this, man. So great job,
Hardys, man.
And all the wrestlers. Yeah, I mean, your personal friends, of course. They love the
Hardys. Like
they all
man,
love
when you see them, you can't help but be like a fan. You know, it's like I love these guys so much.
Oh, God. Oh gosh. Hey, Calvin, real quick, man, if I may. This is for you. We said we get you the challenge coin. I wanted to, I wanted to spend a little money and donate where I could. So I got some things. Calvin supported too. This is a challenge coin. I still don't fully understand how the challenge coins work. I get the gist. But Calvin, thank you for your service, man. Got this for you. We'll find the best way to save it. Well, thank you, because I wasn't nice enough to get it for you. You wanted to support the cause, but we'll find a way to send this to you, man. But explain the challenge coin thing to me, because
so so anybody that I served with, this is not the full deck, okay? This is just what I have here. So these are challenge coins. So this is my rack.
Oh,
if you can see
wow.
This is my
beautiful
rack. All right. So the challenge coin itself is when you're in service. So like you get anytime there's an achievement or you do a good job, or like you come back from somewhere that you were, or if you're in the unit and that unit gets closed down, I have one of those coins too. You get issued out a challenge coin. The challenge coin itself is kind of like a memento. It's like a permanent memento of where you've been, but it's also kind of a bragging right. So if we were if we were all to go out and you're in the service, there's no way you do not go out with one of these in your pocket. You have to have one of these. So if you go out and someone has challenged the group, so they just knock this on the table, right? At that point, everybody else in the group has to pull out their challenge coin. So you have to show it. If you don't have one, then you owe everybody a drink. That is the rule. So it's a really good thing to have. It's kind of like the military, like this round's on me type of thing. But the longer you serve, the more of these you get, the more sentimental they become. Like this is my very last one that I got. I keep it here for a reason. Where is it? This is the last one I got. And this one is near and dear to me. It's a 7/28 coin, but it's the closure of the unit. It's called the 728th Air Control Squadron. That unit closed, but it's now reopened. It was my very first duty station. This is where I did a lot of my growing up in life. I met a lot of lifelong friends. Matter of fact, my co-host over at the Smoke Pit, that's where we met. We met at the 728th Air Control Squadron. It was our very first duty station. We were both young men going into the United States Air Force, and we figured out we were both hilarious together. So it's been a relationship that we've had for 20 years, but it's things like that. They become very sentimental. So anytime I see a unique challenge coin like that one, I want it. But that's the gist of it.
No, you explained it somewhat. That was the best I think anyone's explained it. So now I get it. Because I'm like, do you make your own challenge? Like, are there a bunch of like Kelvin challenge coins that you bring around with you? Like, I wasn't sure. So you get them as kind of an achievement, and then that's the starting point. Okay.
Yes. And really, when you present them, so like when you challenge the group, it's really if everyone has one, then it goes by importance. So like, where did you get this from? Who gave you this? What rank were they? What did they command? So it can get really nuanced really fast if everyone has one, but 9 times out of 10, someone always forgets it and they end up buying a drink. So
there you go. I'll have a gentleman's chocolate milk.
But yeah, that's the gist of it, man.
Awesome, man. Yeah, they had a lot of raffles and stuff too. What is it, like the tricky trays or whatever you put the ticket in? Bro, I never win anything, but I wanted to support, where I could here and there. I won the signed chair that's like signed by everybody. It's signed by the Hardys, signed by Richard Holiday and Stat, and
that's
it's just
awesome.
I never win anything, man. But you guys are gonna have to message me later. How do you display one of these chairs? Because it's not like you can flatten it, because if you turn the chair up, the back's the front and the front's the back. And then if you have it set like a regular chair, do you hang it on a wall where it's like sticking out? So I have no idea how to display this chair. So, but good problem to have.
Could you do it the way that, WWE did their stage setting for, what was it? Was it TLC and dangling from the ceiling?
I am now. That's brilliant. I know exactly what you're talking. Is that the one where like Kane or whoever pulled it down and they all like?
I want to say it was Cena and Barrett when they had the last? Yeah, that's what it was. The last man standing match, and he was buried under the table and just whoosh.
Yes, done. Problem solved. Done. Next time you see this, gonna be chair swinging. Done deal.
That's awesome, man.
Next problem.
But let's get into this card a little bit, man, because there was a who's who of indie wrestlers. There was a who's who of wrestlers, period, on this card. I want to start at the very beginning because I was not expecting this match, and I marked out watching it. It's the return of Amazing Red, who's been on the trail. And Amazing Red is one of my favorite wrestlers ever. And just seeing him back in the ring doing what he's doing. But him and Rich Swann was like a dream match of mine. So to see it happen on this card, I was like, oh, you've already won me over. This is all. If nothing else happens, you've got me right here. This is a banger of a matchup, banger of a match. But interested thoughts, you guys' thoughts on this match.
JJ, you want to take it away, man?
Sure. So, last night on No Gimmicks, I was unfortunate. I didn't have Kelvin with me on my corner, but I did have one demo diamond, the Shining Truth, with me. And before the show, we were kind of talking about this, the match card placement and how exactly companies, you want to open the doors with this match. You want to save this for intermission, for after intermission, for your semi-main. And like Kelvin touched on, when it was announced, it was like, oh, this is going to be a great match. Amazing Red, the homie Rich Swann, what a banger of a match. And for this show to open with that, the energy was electric from start to finish. And, Rob, you touched on something. You could tell it was hot in the building because of the way Rich Swann was sweating the entire match. But Rich Swann did not show any exhaustion, which is insane to him. So kudos to you, Rich Swann. Your charisma and endurance is top tier, insanely good.
Oh, and you hit on something, man. I feel it's so important. I've been to so many of these independent shows, or even these PLEs we watch once a month or twice a month, whatever it is. I think that starting match is just so important, especially if you have a great show, just having that nice bookend with the hot start, the nice chef's kiss finish and everything in between. But you got to have that perfect start. I love the high flying stuff. That's what got me into it, is just seeing Ray jumping around the ring. And I was like, oh, this is my forever favorite guy. And then I met Vicky, and she's just been my forever favorite since then. But I digress. Yeah. I'm not sleeping on the couch, Kelvin, So, but to have that hot start, the high flying, we're just like, are we going to get a dance off? Bill's like, we need a dance off. I was sitting with Bill. We got the dance off. Just incredible offense. The first time I've seen Red live, he does House of Glory up here in New York. Kelvin, if you're ever out this way, you got to go to a House of Glory show.
I saw them in Vegas.
So you know the deal. Yeah, it's just, I know the deal. No pun intended. It's really amazing. Red kind of established himself as the baby face in that one. It was kind of baby face, and they had the dance off. Swann does kind of like the cheap shot during the dance off. But high flying offense. What a way to start the night. And it's kind of one of those mentalities. I can only imagine. I can't speak for anyone, but it's just like you go back through the curtain, follow that, follow that. So I love it. I love it.
Absolutely. It was one of those matches when I saw it and for it to kick off the show, I was almost worried. I was like, bro, they're about to tear the house down. And they did. But then you kind of follow that up, and it's like, where are we going? Because this night is awesome already. And when you have stuff like someone who I haven't seen, this is my first look at them, Tiara James, in a match with Priscilla Kelly, Shotzi Blackheart, and who was she with?
Emily J.
Emily J.
The Stunner, Emily J.
Yeah, I hadn't seen either of those ladies live, so to see them, I was like, this is odd. And I actually became a bigger fan after watching Tiara James perform, because I've seen her name and I've seen some of her work, and I've been a fan. But seeing her live, I was like, oh, now I know. And this kind of put me on the path of where I need to start following East Coast independents too, because we're so locked in here in Texas. I'm like, bro, we need to open the door a little bit.
Guilty. Same thing over here. I get it. Yeah.
It's like, bro, we're so locked in here, and there's a lot of good wrestling here, but there's a lot to like from people like Tiara James and Emily J in that match, because you're going up against two kind of people who've been established before, and they're working independence. They have that name. Priscilla Kelly's the MPX champion down here, who we'll see next month. Yeah, we'll see her next month in a triple threat match. But to see her and know her work and see her working with people like that, it's like, okay, I've got to pay more attention, because these ladies, they tore it up as well.
Yeah, I like Tiara a lot. She's been in here in the Northeast for some time. Damian Adams trained like Deonna was from that camp up here in the Northeast. She's great, and she's always very super super nice. Anytime I get to talk to her, always cool with me and Vicky, and just gets it done in the ring. She kind of has the gimmick with like the mirror, so she's always looking at herself in the mirror. Or she'll have like the big stand-up mirror in the corner of the ring. So just again, it's so cool to see how some of these talents over the years have really evolved. And my favorite thing, Kelvin, and maybe you can attest to this too, is when the indie talent get a moment or a match with the TV talent or former TV talent, because that's how you get better, fighting people that are better than you. Or even like when you get like the spots with the guys. I think last year, like Vargas got clotheslined by JBL. He just came in and clotheslined him for no reason, and I was fine with it. But I just love it when the indie talent get to work with the names, man. And there was a lot of that on this show.
There was, but and it also I don't know if you see it too, but it's like the indie talent facing people that's been on TV before, they kick it up just a little bit more, and you see that in the match, and you see like they're going above and beyond to like make their name as well, and it ends up being one of those matches that it doesn't really catch you off guard, but it's like, whoa. Because after that match, I was like, I need to pay attention to these people, because they've shown me something. I know what Shotzi can do. I know what Priscilla Kelly can do. I know what they can do together. And they had a bang up match coming out of it. So that was my takeaway.
And shameless promo, the Vicious One will be in the ring with Shotzi July 18th. There's a battle royal with all the women over at ACW. Winner faces Steph DeLander for the ACW Women's Championship. Love Shotzi, but I got to root for current girlfriend in this one, who did pin the ACW Women's Champion Steph DeLander in tag team action. She pinned her. That's all I'm going to say. She pinned her.
Hey,
she's got momentum.
Hey, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. But
I'm a company guy.
You said that's July 18th?
July 18th over in Poughkeepsie. Yeah, so not down in Texas yet. Not down in Texas yet. But.
Listen, I've been saying this. I'll manifest this one here too. We need Vicious Vicky over at to come in Texas. We need her. We need to come back to Texas, and we need her possibly a Metroplex wrestler.
Yes, seconded.
Who runs the World 4 or 5?
Whatever we got to do to make it happen, let's make it happen.
Yes,
I'll make some phone calls.
She has faced Athena. She has faced Athena in AEW Connecticut, Bridgeport, Connecticut.
I do remember that match.
22. It's so when it was Athena, she just started the heel turn, because I think the way they started on TV, because you taped the week before. So they think it was like on a Rampage or something. She kind of like attacked Aubrey or something after a call. I think that was like the impetus for something. But it really started when she faced Vicky, pinned Vicky. They had their match. And then after the match, she put like the chokehold on her, the submission on her after the match. And Aubrey, or whoever the ref was, it wasn't Aubrey. The bald gentleman, I forget his name. But
Bryce.
Yes, look at you. I knew you'd get it. That's why I said it. So she puts a submission on, and then Vicky's like, get off me, tapping out, and she's holding it, and like, oh, this is very heelish. But then that Monday, I think that's when Dark had aired on YouTube. They put out the graphic. You see the graphic, and then the thing airs, and Vicky's sitting there with her family, and they don't air the match. So like, but I have the match. So, but yeah, it was just one of those things where it's just like, we're all sitting around the TV, and it's just like you put out the graphic, like. So, but I would love to see her in the ring with Athena or work down there in Texas again. And Texas was great to her. So thank you guys for that.
We loved her down here.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
We loved her down here.
I'll stop putting over my girlfriend now.
No. It's all good. It's all good.
The deal.
But we had another match on here that I want to talk about as well. Someone I actually got to see in the ring live against Charity King. I saw her in this one too. and it's criminal at this point why she's not signed to anyone, and that's Gabby Forza. We're talking atrocities at this point. She's so good. Her and Kaya Mitchell put on a great performance. JJ, what do you think about this match?
So, if this is the match that I'm thinking, this is the Battle of the Badges, right?
Yes, I think they
Yes.
call it. Yes, I believe
Yes.
they would call that because one was because Kaya had wore the firefighter jacket for
Right.
her father, and I forget Nomi's connection. It might have been her family as well. But yes, I believe that was it.
Okay, yes, I did want to talk about this one because I made notes because when I saw it, as I told you guys on the pre-show before we got on, I was unfamiliar with a lot of talent on this card, but after watching it, a lot of people opened my eyes and I've got them on my radar. Gabby Forza is one of those people that is on my radar. I was like instantly hooked. I was like, oh, I love this. She can go. She's got the crowd in her hands. She knows how to work the ring. Like, everything just looked really, really good. And if we're, throwing names out there for bringing someone down to Texas, Gabby Forza, please, we would love to see you down in Texas. Metroplex Wrestling, I believe Who Runs the World 4 is around the corner, and that is taking off. So, yes, please. But that match, absolutely fantastic. The crowd loved it. Both ladies went in there. They gave it their all. And I was very impressed. I cannot wait to see more. I'm excited for the next chapter in Gabby Forza's career because Kelvin and I, we talk about this a lot. Rob, I'm sure you've heard it too. There are certain people you want to enjoy them while you have them. And I do believe that Gabby Forza is one of those that we need to enjoy while we have her at this level.
I love talking to you guys because it's like you guys are like the Texas version of what we have over here, where you see these people like Kaya McKenna. I saw her first match here by happenstance here in New Jersey. I think in the town right over next to mine. And now she's on this platform. And Gabby Forza, it's funny. We've been following her for a long time. She's very, very sweet, always very sweet. And her momentum, that powerhouse style, obviously she's married to Bear Bronson. They are two of the night. I know I'm killing your heat, Bear. They are two of the nicest people in all of pro wrestling. And I actually gave Gabby a trophy from you know how we do the little trophies, Kevin, like from 2023. It was the breakout performer female of 2023, and she was thrilled to get that. So we gave her that trophy finally because I hadn't seen her in a while, I guess a long while. But very well deserved. That short spear that she has, that powerhouse style, like she'll let you know in the ring, and she has that range too because she really leans into that gnome thing and switching the hats and being funny. But she can really just assert that powerhouse style in the ring. And we actually talked to Kaya on the red carpet before the event. There was a red carpet where we could interview a lot of the talent that would come through in scrum style. And it was really cool. I almost felt like I had a home field advantage because I knew a lot of the indie talent personally. And that was cool for me to just kind of have that rapport because maybe some of the media didn't know everybody. And I say that respectfully, but Kai came out in her father's fireman jacket from Ocean City, Maryland.
That's what that was.
So that was very cool. And just two up-and-comers in the Northeast, but would love to see Nomi definitely get some of that momentum and head down to Texas as well.
Yeah, I know in Vegas she worked New Texas, which is a big promotion out here in Austin. She worked that. Her and Charity King put on one hell of a match in Vegas. Wow. So I know her and New Texas kind of have this rapport. But I would love to see her. I would love to see her on Athena's card on Who Runs the World. I would love to see that. And I know she worked Lodestone too. So again, one of our sayings here is enjoy him while you got him, because apparently if you work Lodestone, your name's up there, bro. like
oh yeah,
it's only a matter of time. So it's one of those things. You see her and you see what she's doing, you can't help but be a fan of hers. And to hear like she's a sweet person, I'm like sooner rather than later we're gonna get it.
Oh yeah.
So enjoy him.
Oh yeah, love it.
But speaking of roadblocks, so one match was supposed to have the infantry in it, and the infantry, Tony Khan pulled them. But I see why. I definitely see why. STP is now, they're now in the forefront of AEW right now. Though them being on this card would have made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It would have made a ton of sense. The match that they were booked in, I think, would have been a banger of a match with them in it. But what we got is a triple threat match featuring the surprise of the Rascals in it. And couldn't ask for more, bro. That was a phenomenal triple threat match. And it also put me onto two new tag teams. Here on No Gimmicks, we're kind of big on tag team wrestling, especially down here in Texas. We feel like the tag team scene in Texas is really big. So it's good to see that it's thriving other places too, because that was a great triple threat tag team match. And it also gave me some tag teams that I want to look at, like the Center and the Saint. I love them as a tag team. But that was a phenomenal tag team match. Your thoughts?
I just wanted to point this out, Calvin, because you mentioned about Tony Khan pulling talent and replacing them. Do you guys notice this as content creators, honestly, that, I feel that we tend, BCP, we tend to lean into the positive and, just like we talk about the independent talent, like climbing that ladder or getting signed or someone doing a charitable event or saying something very inspiring, does not get nearly as much press or likes or coverage or whatever, we value our social media worth in, I digress, as opposed to the things that are very negative. Don't forget, Tony Khan, Carlos Silva got a lot of opinions, for lack of a better word, based on polling talent. I think Carlos Silva had polled talent with the Dolph MJF match. There's back and forth. Pat Buck had some opinion. It was just one of those things where it was like negative. You get everyone's side of the story. You get everyone's 2 cents. People are being hypocritical. And then for this match, Kelvin, we had Sinner and Saint, a legit TNA team, the Rascals, an AEW team. And then we had the Shooter Boys, who I was new to. And I think this was match of the night, by the way. But I thanked Carlos Silva and Tony Khan online. Carlos Silva did see it and like it, because you saw the bigger picture. This was for charity. He let the Hardys stay on this show. The Hardys were not booked because the Colorado date was announced afterwards, but they had a Colorado Denver taping on Saturday. The Hardys are contractually obligated to appear, or whatever their contract is. Carlos Silva said, hey, no, do this show. This show was built around the Hardys in the main event. I do want to thank Carlos Silva for that. And I do want to thank Tony Khan. Unfortunately, Megan Bain got pulled, and I was excited to see Megan Bain in that gauntlet. But we got former AEW Women's Champion Chris Statlander, who in that very building years ago was booping our noses, Calvin. It was cool to see her, Chris Stat. Thank you, Tony Khan, for switching the talent, letting AEW versus TNA versus Indies happen. But again, no one's talking about it, right? Because it's
too positive, man. It's too positive.
No one's talking about it, but I wanted to thank them for that. That being said, I did know it was the Rascals going into it, because we had like the little like press sheet of for the red carpet, like who's who, the match names, and I'm like, oh, I see Desmond Xavier, so I was like, okay, it's gonna be the Rascals, but I'm a vault, bro. I did the math though. But so good to see them, and I think that was match of the night. Sinner and Saint, we talked to them on the red carpet day. We'll post that soon. They were really fun to talk to. They talk about being under the learning tree of guys like Eric Young, fighting some of the best in the world in tag teams in TNA. But man, that match was just incredible. Tandem, high flying, fast paced offense in that hot building, flying off the ropes. Man, it was absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I gotta agree. With you on match of the night. They went full throttle that entire match and couldn't ask for more. And again, like I say, I've become a big tag team wrestling guy. I don't even know where it comes from, but it's just like, it's one of those things that's becoming a lost art. So when it's done, I like it, but when it's done well, I love it. And I love this match. They did phenomenal in this match.
Yeah, JJ, did you like it?
Oh man, and like I said when we got on the air, I'm a tag team guy myself, so I feel like Kelvin is still in my shine a little bit here. I feel like I helped play a part in him becoming a tag team guy. But no, man, for real, like the tag teams don't get a lot of love the way that they used to. And it's so good seeing tag teams thrive, not just here in Texas, but really across the scene, whether it's the pro level, especially on the indie level. And Center and Saint has been a team that I keep my eyes on. So I knew what they were about. I was excited to see them on this card. And like you guys touched on, the infantry, a perfect fit for a show like this. They're doing phenomenal things with AEW, with Ring of Honor, STP. It was really like, okay, sold. But to hear that, oh, they got pulled, but there's a mystery team, that just made me like, oh, the door is open. Like, we're in the forbidden door season. Who's going to come through? And to see it was the Rascals, man, I love these guys. You just love the Rascals, their energy, their passion, what they can do in the ring together, whether it's, Dez and Zach and Myron and Dez, like no matter what combo you get, you're in for a treat. But for me, match of the night, I agree. The Shooter Boys, man, what a team. What a tag team. Those guys, I believe they can go places. When you look down here in Texas, we've got teams that we talk about like Purple Haze. We talk about, Paradigm, Luke Cameron, Mo Kelly. When you look at some stuff that Revolver has been doing, Alpha Sig is another big name. Tie or Die, another big team that I really have my eye on. But the Shooter Boys, they have my eye. I hope I see more of them very soon, because that is a team that I can see going places if they're given the right opportunities.
Yeah, 100%, man. Beautifully said.
Well said. Well said. But being that we had, and you gave kudos to Carlos Silva and Tony Khan, but I got to give some kudos out too as well, because there was some GCW talent on here. We had George Janela in the Battle Royal. So many names that came out. We had the signature move from my guy Richard Holiday performed in the Gauntlet. But there was, hey, there it is. And
no, it is exempt. We avoided it, Calvin. You and I somehow avoided it. Thank goodness.
I was just about to say that. I avoided the signature move. I was just about to say that. I ended up
hitting the high notes, brother. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That battle royal was absolutely fantastic. The 12-man first ever Battle for the Brave Cup, I believe. So we had Chris Stat in that one. BDE, we got to talk to him. He was very, very nice. Some of these guys, won me over. Getting to meet them. I'm like, I'm okay with them on TV or TNA or whatever. And I'm like, I think with BDE, I was a little like, he's just one of these, and shame on me, like one of these YouTube guys, like the kids know him better than I do. And man, has he put in the work, man, and put in some great matches, and getting to talk to him, class act, great guy, man. And he can get it done in the ring. So I'm very, very happy for him. He did a great job. Like you said, Joey Janela in that matchup. Brent Oakley, I believe he was, he's one of us. He's like a content creator guy too. I got to ask him about that. Alec Odin, MCW, Steve Gipke, aka Dark STG, is that dark persona. I asked him about that. Who else in that one? Ray Jazz from the new incarnation of the FBI. Griffin McCoy. So that was a lot of fun. Brad Attitude, event in the game. Dude, this was one of my favorite matches. Maclin coming in at number 1, running the gauntlet.
Yeah.
And he says to me, so Richard Holiday, so it's a battle royale. So Richard Holiday, low blow. He can do it because it's a battle royale. So I knew he was gonna hit Chris Stat. No, I'm not a no sell, but it doesn't do nothing, Pop from the crowd. She goes to throw him out, hits him with a power bomb. but he kind of reverses, and they all team up on Stat to get her out. That was a cool moment, but she was great. And that comes down to Maclin, and there's so much more in between. Comes down to Maclin and Richard Holiday. You know, the ref gets his back turned, signature move. Holiday wins the first ever Battle of the Brave Cup. And he's our top indie guy. You know, we said it last year, and I've been saying it for years, man. He's overcome leukemia. He was kind of like that inspirational wrestler of the year. After that, he came to ISPW, ran through the tournament, got the title. Really was a upper echelon indie talent. Today, he tweeted, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was 3 years since he's beat leukemia, 4 years since he's had a sip of alcohol. So shout out to Richard Holiday, man. That is such an amazing thing that he's able to do and overcome, man. And he's always been, even to you, Calvin, he's always been so kind to us and taking the time. The stuff he's doing on social media is absolutely brilliant. That being said, we interviewed Maclin, and he said it, so this isn't breaking news or anything. He said it hurt even more because his wife had to hand Richard Holiday the trophy, the Battle for the Brave Cup, and she checks on Steve, and she goes, "Those better be okay because we're trying to have a baby." So I was like, oh, okay, we're putting that out there. So
I was like, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, and good for them. I love them, and I say that very endearingly. But I thought that was interesting. And Richard Holiday, man, it's the right call in the booking. I mean, it was a great field of 12 competitors. I don't know what you guys thought, or maybe you thought someone else should have won that one.
No, I think who needed to win it won it. Again, a guy like Richard Holiday, if someone like Cody Rhodes names drops you and says like you're one of the top talents out there, then you got to believe what's being said about him. We did it first, Calvin. We did it first. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But I think he's someone who's, wherever he goes, the buzz is there. He's coming back this way. He'll be at Dragon Slayer Pro Wrestling next month. And that event's already got a ton of interest because he's going to be there. People want to go to this show. So there's something to Richard Holiday. I think him winning that, if let's manifest this one, if Battle for the Brave were to continue on and do another show, I definitely think you have something there with both Steve Maclin and Richard Holiday. So it sets something up for the future, right? And keep the story going, because let's face it, this was a successful event. If we are going to do something, we need a story there. And if we're going to have something like a championship being unveiled, we need someone that won a cup that we introduced at our first show to compete for that championship. Who else better than Richard Holiday? Because him as your champion is going to make waves. It's smart business. Sorry for pulling the curtain back, but it's
couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more.
But yeah, I fully expect that. JJ, what do you think?
I mean, I agree with both of y'all. Y'all pretty much hit, the nail on the head with that one. For a battle royal, this is the match style that a lot of people, you could say, lose interest in because it could go on too long. It ended too fast. Like you said, somebody else should have won. Why this person? Why not that person? So a battle royal could be hit or miss. But I think the way that it was, and Rob, you touched on it, there was a roller coaster of things that happened during the battle royal where it kept you hooked really from start to finish. It could have went either way. Anybody in that field of 12 could have walked away. But for Richard Holiday to be the one to do it, shout out to you, man. Kudos to you. Again, nobody better deserves it. And I'm looking forward to what's next. Seeing Richard Holiday's name pop up has been a thing of beauty because it's one of those people that doesn't get a lot of love that they should, but he's still on everybody's radar, if that makes sense. So absolutely phenomenal work. I think the Battle Royal, in my opinion, is my second favorite match of the night. And that's saying something when you had an opener like Swan and Amazing Red, and it's like, oh man, the whole card just phenomenal but the Battle Royal still sticks out on a card like this.
Yes. Agreed. And that brings us to the main event. The Hardys versus the Verdict. Again, it's the Hardys, man. How can you go wrong with the Hardys against the Verdict? Someone who I haven't really followed. But again, you attach them to a card like this, I got to know who they are. And I love that for their first event, they ended with a tag team match because it's so left field. And you have something like the Hardys, a team like the Hardys ending it in the main event. It's left field, but it just worked after a card like this. And then before this match, you had kind of like the icebreaker of them donating, was it $10,000 to the charity?
Yes.
They were able to raise $10,000 for that charity and then donate it. So you get a feel-good moment going into a main event that people have clamored for. And it ended the night beautifully. It really did. JJ, thoughts?
Yeah, I'm gonna copy and paste everything you said. Anybody who knows pro wrestling and has watched pro wrestling, they grew up with the Hardys, right? Me and my co-host over on D1 Ignite University here on the DFPN. Shout out to you, Kelvin, for letting us come on the network. We talked about it in a few of our episodes. You know, wrestling talk. Who is someone that you look up to? Who's someone that got you into the business as a fan? And it's unanimous. You know, the Jeff Hardy, the Orange Flailing, the Swanton, the Twist of Fate, Matt Hardy, all the work that he's done with the broken character and his Matt Hardy 2.0. We've got Willow for Jeff Hardy, Brother Nero. So it's like these guys are just ageless wonders, right? And knowing that they're going to be on a card, you're always in for a treat. I remember Kelvin and I going back to TNA Genesis when they came down here in Texas. The roof blew off of that stadium the minute their music hit. Whether it's TV, whether it's a pay-per-view, whether it's an indie show, the crowd is going to feed into the Hardys 10 times out of 10. And for the Verdict, they held their own. Again, a tag team that I was unfamiliar with, but watching, man, did they look good. They looked really good. It was a phenomenal way to close the show. Again, it's not your traditional main event. A lot of people will go for that one-on-one, maybe a multi-man, triple threat, fatal four-way type of match. But I think for this show, for what it was, closing it out with the tag team match, chef's kiss. It was the icing on the cake, literally.
Well said. Rob?
So before I get to the Hardys, man, a great main event. So many feelings on this. Bryce Donovan, VSK, the Verdict. They came into this one talking a lot of crud, right? A lot of mess, right? They were talking a lot of bad things. Very confident, and I was here for it. You know, they were confident because, like, in the scrum, people are like, "Oh, you know, you're fighting the Hardys. This is the biggest match of your career." And they're like, "Oh, what, for us or for them?" Like, they were like, "You know, I feel bad. Like, this is going to be their last match, and like, you know, we're going to brutalize these guys." And like, yeah, we grew up watching them, but now, you know, they were so arrogant and cocky in the best heel way. They don't get enough credit because they were so good and they set the table so well. They took the Hardys' greatest hits, and I mean that in the best way. I'll get into that in a little bit. I don't want that to be a term that's like a negative, like they played the greatest hits. Like, it was awesome. And they sold everything flawlessly. They made the Hardys, not that they need to, made the Hardys look like $1 million. And I'm just saying they won't ever get enough credit for it. They won't, because they did such a good job, if that makes sense, in being the heels and taking the moves. So I did want to shout them out. Talk to them on the red carpet. Courtney, I see in the comments, you were there as well. Again, we talk about the negative and the positive. Bryce had went off. He was talking about Jackson Drake in a not so nice kind of way. And I'm like, oh, he's going to be working with them. And then he kept going. I'm like, oh, no, this is real. And so very strong words about Jackson Drake and the ID program and his experience there. So that definitely got a little momentum. So I thought that was interesting. But nevertheless, great talent. Watched him here in the Northeast, creative pro guy for a while. BSK, same story. They were great in this match. The Hardys of it all, look, they announced, among other places on our show, that the Hardys were going to be the first ones booked for this show. I lost my mind. There was like a reaction video where Steve and Deonna are talking to me. I'm like, those are the first people you booked? Like the greatest tag team of all time, the GOATs? Yeah. It's a funny moment. I said this on our show. Matt and Jeff come through the curtain. I did not get a chance to say hello before the show. I said hi to John Alba. He does the Extreme Life of Matt Hardy podcast with Matt. I love John. He always takes the time to, help me out or give me advice here and there. I remember being a fan going to these shows, and he was there with the nice blazer and the nice shoes. And, I'm like, I want to do that one day, and that's now I got the J's. I have one pair of J's. And then, I had the nice blazer, and so he's someone I look up to. I've gotten to know Matt through him, and I'll say, hey, Matt, Rob Williams, and Matt's like, I know who you are. How's Vicky? He knows the deal, so they're always so nice. I didn't get a chance to say hello. I almost drove up to Boston to interview them today. I was thinking about it because TNA is doing press, but I'm like, I got, school's wrapping up. But I wanted to say hello. But anyway, I'm there on the side of the curtain. I'm filming. I got my phone, for content for us. The Hardys, the Hardy pop, like you said, Kelvin. And Jeff comes out on my side, and Matt's on the other side. We got a nod to Matt, whatever. And Jeff's there, and he's got the face paint, the red, white, and blue, whatever. And then he's got like the wristbands. And they're not in the broken Hardy gimmick because they've been doing a lot of that on TNA. Mm-hmm. And they come out, and like I'm just there, filming, hopefully out of camera range. And there's a couple kids by me, and Jeff just daps up the kids, and he daps me up, whatever. I'm like, oh, like. And he goes, I'm like, oh, this is Jeff Hardy. Like I don't know what it was. Like I've seen him a million times. I've met him. I've interviewed him. Kelvin's rapping with him. Like, and in that moment, I don't know what it was. Like he just, I'm like, oh, like this is Jeff Hardy, the Hardy. They look great. Both of them look great. They went in there, they played the hits, but like in the best way. Like they did everything. Like they did poetry in motion. It was a little, Jeff doesn't do the flying swing and kick anymore. Just kind of like a slap or a clothesline. But Jeff did like the mule kick. Remember when they catch the leg and he does the inverted mule? Like I haven't seen that in a long, and I've been watching TNA. I haven't seen that in a long time. He does the gourd buster. Haven't seen that in a while. Like they did everything. Matt took a bump on the outside into the rail where we were all just like, oh my gosh, like, is he okay? It was so good. Matt grabs the mic. I mean, I could go on and on after the match and just talks about the cause, hits the hey yo, does the Scott Hall. They put this show on their back, and a lot of people did, but they knew the responsibility. Mm-hmm. They knew they were missing a TNA taping for this. They knew Carlos allowed it. They showed love to the first responders, the military families, the cause. They did a meet and greet before the show. This was a Hardys match, but it's just like, what's the line you guys been saying this whole time? Like, appreciate them while they're here. What was the line you guys been saying?
Enjoy them while you got them.
Mm-hmm. I think for the Hardys, yeah. They're not on. Actually, they are on the Indies. Let's be real. They're everywhere on the Indies. It's awesome to see. Good for them. Enjoy them while you got them. Enjoy them while you got them, because they have that magic. And I was like, oh yeah, I do like wrestling. And oh yeah, like I do love this. And you get so involved on the other side of it. And there's so much drama. I mean, with the Indies, there's so much drama and pettiness and ego. And, I date a female wrestler. I get a front row seat to all of it. The creeps are the fans, the creeps are the promoters. People are overstepping, and like it's scary. It's uncomfortable, and to see the good side of this and the good people in this, and this being used for a cause that's bigger than pro wrestling, to help people that help us, man. Just what a way to cap off the night, man. You walked away from that show with a sense of accomplishment. And I want to thank you, Kelvin, for your service. I want to thank you for helping sponsor. We did what we could to help this. We contributed for the talent goodie bags, so they all got like the backpacks and a little letters that courtesy, BCP Plus on there, which was nice. And they got like a little goodie bag. So it was what a way to end that show, man, and what a way to end the night. And my hat's off to Steve Deonna, the Lenton family, Tunnel to the Towers, the sponsors. The pro wrestlers, the indie wrestlers, the staff, the wrestlers who just showed up to set up the ring, maybe get an opportunity. GPW, the productions, they offered to do it for free, that streamed it. They did a great job with the stream. So shout them out. Just my hat's off to everybody.
Team at GPW.
Yeah.
Phenomenal team.
Amazing.
So yeah. So with that event, do you, in your mind, I know you said there were a lot of speed bumps, a lot of roadblocks, but it was successful at the end of the day. Do you see a space where Battle for the Brave does another show?
I straight up asked Maclin. On camera too. I straight up asked him. And I'm pretty subtle, Cal. I usually am, but he's one of the, he's one of us, Calvin. And I asked, and he was fired up. Like he was post game. I called it post. He was post game. He had the towel. He's fired up, and he was in a good mood. Everyone was feeling good. And I'm like, I gotta ask. You've overcome a lot to get here. Your first time as promoter. Will there be a part 2? And he looks at Deonna's PR person who helped a lot with the event, and they look at each other and he goes, "Stay tuned." So, in true wrestling fashion. I would imagine so, and I think it's one of those learning experiences too. How can we do this bigger? How can we do this better? It's just one of those things. But for a first show, man, did they do a great job, man? And they made sure everyone was comfortable given the circumstances. They made sure everyone was paid and taken care of, and just I can't say enough good things about them since the day I've met them.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, if it helps a little bit, I'll tell you a little story about a promotion that worked at 510 Harwood Road. They just left that location. It was hot in there in the summer. So hot in there, they had an industrial fan.
You're in Texas. This is in Texas. Oh, I can't even complain.
It was so hot in there, bro. Like the AC barely worked. There was an industrial fan. You had to keep the door open. They had water for the fans. It sounds exactly like Metroplex Wrestling. But let me tell you, Metroplex Wrestling is awesome. There was nowhere I'd rather be on a Saturday night than at 510 Harwood Road. So if that was the biggest speed bumps, like, bro, they're going to be fine. they will be fine. And especially the card that they put together. I think for a first card, you couldn't have done it bigger than what you did, even with the people that you had that dropped out last minute and the replacements that you got. Like it sounds like that sounds pretty normal from what I've seen. So I would hope with the success of this event, even if you don't do it like often, I hope that they continue to do it and make it to where it's something that they can dedicate to that charity and keep donating to that charity, even if they just do it once a year. But I definitely, watching this one, it makes me want to be there. And that's the biggest compliment that I can give it, is not even being in the building. I'm mad that I wasn't in the building for it. So kudos to Deonna and Steve and the charity, everybody who was involved, because this was an awesome event to watch. It really was.
Yeah. I just want to say real quick, it was cool to see everyone, a word that we don't use a lot these days, united for a cause. Again, especially, with politics, with wrestling, wrestling's always kind of been the escape, right? For us, especially with the independents, there's separation and, good people and bad people and indie wrestling and things like that, and competition and ego, like I keep saying. But for everyone to come together for a great cause, united to help the responders, I always feel like, unfortunately, sometimes it takes a tragedy to bring everyone together, and I hate that, man.
Yeah.
And this was just a great way to see everyone united for a day, to do something for the people that help us and give back and use their crafts to raise money for a great cause, for, kids who have lost their parents, for first responders, for people in the military. And Kelvin, I always tell you how grateful I am for you, for anyone who served. Thank you guys for your service, man. I always appreciate you, man. I respect the heck out of you, man. And just thank you to everyone, and just it was a great feeling of unity. What's they always did it with tribute for the troops. They always played that Shine Down song, and it was called Unity. It's my favorite song. Every time I see Shine Down, I'm like, oh, I hope they play Unity. But it was really, really cool to see everyone united, and I drove away from that show feeling like we accomplished something.
That's awesome, man. That's really awesome.
Yeah, man.
JJ, take us home. Final shots, thoughts. What you got, buddy?
Man, I don't have anything, but again, I want to thank both of you guys because I have been a fan of pro wrestling for the longest. Kelvin, you and I, we talk about this all the time about how our paths crossed at 510 Harwood Road, Metroplex Wrestling, and then you put the call out there, was like, hey, want to come tag along, be my co-host for a couple episodes? And it's been like almost a year now that we've been holding down the fort. So
absolutely.
Kudos to you, man. Thank you for having me on the ride. This journey has been spectacular. Rob, I've been keeping up with all the stuff you have going on, the content you produce, the interviews that you do, the life that you live, man. So kudos to you. Thank you for everything that you do. And again, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen this show, you can go back, rewatch this show on YouTube. You definitely want to do that. If you haven't, or if you were there, or if you want to go back and just see those moments that we talked about in this show, definitely go back and do that. Share it, like it, tell a friend, tell a family member about it, because I think big things are on the horizon. We talked about it a lot on the show. We're going to put positive energy out there in the atmosphere, and I do believe there's going to be a second show. And like Kelvin said, God willing, if there's a way that I can get out there to be in the crowd for number 2, I will find a way to make it happen, because the energy was palpable the first time around. I can only imagine how it's going to be for round 2. So appreciate you guys for tonight, man. It was a great chat. Looking forward to the next one when we can do something like this again.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And shout out to everybody in the chat. Courtney, thank you for your comments. Kim, thank you for your comments. Thank you to everybody watching. But before we get out of here, they said watch it. Go to YouTube. Boots to Boots Pod is the channel that it's on. So search Boots to Boots Pod. It is their video. That's Deonna and Steve's podcast. So make sure you go over there, check it out on their channel. Subscribe to their channel because they do have a great podcast as well. But subscribe to them, watch the show, leave your feedback. To my brother Rob, let the people know where they can find you, good sir.
Yes, shameless promo, my favorite part. First and foremost, you heard it here first. I think we need JJ on a BCP Plus 2026 panel prediction.
I volunteer him as tribute.
As tribute? Okay, good to know. Okay, JJ, would love to have you. Go to BCP Plus on YouTube. Check our interviews with a lot of TNA talent as of late. EC3, Ash by Elegance. You can check out one of my favorite interviews. I wasn't even in it. It was Kelvin sitting down, rapping with the Hardys. It's one of my favorites. We both got to sit down with Mike Santana. Check that out.
Did he drop?
No.
He just dropped right on out of here.
he was on a roll, and then he said, boom.
I bet his laptop died. I bet that's what happened. I'm almost betting that happened.
That's why I keep mine plugged in for the whole duration of the show, because you never know.
But if he doesn't come back, ladies and gentlemen, you can find him BCP Plus, BCP-Plus.com. He's over on the Pop Break as well. He writes articles for them. So popbreak.com, who we also have a great relationship with. We got to get Bill Bakken back in here at some point. But yeah, he's one of the closest relationships that we have with No Gimmicks. Hold on, he's chatting me right now.
I was gonna say he had my interest when he mentioned coming to the panel. I would love the opportunity to come chat on a panel with you guys, because y'all do some great stuff together. So please let me know.
Absolutely, man. I would love to see you on there. The conversations are always great. We met a lot of great people through that. So definitely do that. do that when you can. I know they do a lot of the PLEs, so next time I'm gonna throw your name in the hat for you. So I'll just let you know when it's happening. But that's gonna do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you for the crowd. Thank you for the house tonight, because this is a loaded stream. We got a lot done. If you guys want us to keep doing stuff like this, collaborating, getting outside of the Texas Independent, let us know, because this was actually fun. And like I said, we learned a lot about a lot of different people. If you guys are watching, subscribe to us as well. If you're following because of BCP Plus, hit us up. Subscribe to No Gimmicks. We do cover a lot of Texas independent wrestling. So that's your way to get to know some of these guys who you see on TV that we know about, and likewise. So share the love. Come hang out with us. Let's talk some independent wrestling. But that's all I got. JJ, you got anything else?
I mean, you said Texas Independent Wrestling. We've got a good crowd here tonight, so I want to extend the invitation, because I did it last night on No Gimmicks with Demo Diamond. So I want to extend the invitation to all of you to come and join No Gimmicks for our freaky party, because we have one guy that you want to keep your eyes out on, especially down here in Texas. The Freak Demon, Mo Kelly, is going to be on the show very, very soon, and that is one that I cannot wait for. So Absolutely. Please, when that drops, please come and join us. Have some fun with us. And until next time, Kelvin, I'll let you close it out.
You guys take care of each other. Enjoy what you're going to enjoy. Peace.
And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmick. Yeah. And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmick. Yeah, and I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmicks, gimmicks.